I saw the exact moment your eyes opened this morning, and before your feet even touched the cold floor of the room, I was already there, waiting for your heaviest sigh. I know that often the alarm clock sounds like a call to a battle you're already too tired to fight, and the first thing that invades your chest isn't hope, but the weight of unfinished business, the bitterness of words stuck in your throat, and the anxiety about a future that insists on seeming cloudy. You wake up and, in a matter of seconds, your mind has already become a battlefield where fear tries to dictate the rhythm of your steps. But I stopped what I was doing in the kingdom to tell you that today doesn't have to be like that. I want to purify your attitude before the day begins, because what you carry within you now is what will determine whether you walk on water or drown on the surface of your problems. There is a secret kept in the silence of dawn that you have not yet fully understood, something that makes the sky change color and mercies renew themselves, but which is only revealed to those who decide to surrender the filter of their soul into my hands early on. You have sought strength to change circumstances, but I came here to change your attitude towards them. If this word is touching the deepest part of your being, pause and tell me, here in the comments, what your name is, what country and city you are listening to me from, and what time the clock hands show there now. I want to see the trail of my light, traveling through every corner of this earth through your life. You know you can trust in me, for just as I sustained Jeremiah in the midst of ruins and gave David a new song when the night seemed eternal, I am here to sustain your house. As it is written in Lamentations chapter 3 verses 22 and 23, my mercies are the reason we are not consumed, and they are new every morning. In this journey we begin now, I will show you how to disarm the emotional traps that steal your peace before 8 o'clock in the morning. I will teach you to cleanse your soul of all negativity and to put on the armor of meekness, transforming your ordinary day into a scene of discreet miracles. While you listen to me, allow your heart to make a sincere cry, like someone who recognizes that they cannot walk alone. Write below as a cry from your soul, Lord my God, I am here. I signed up because I love you and want to hear you. Make this your seal of commitment to the kingdom. Stay with me until the last second of this encounter, for I have a clear answer that will be delivered at the end, a phrase that I will whisper to your spirit, and that will completely change the way you see your reflection and your neighbor. There is something I am silently preparing for the next few hours of your life, but you will only understand if you allow me to cleanse the light in your eyes now. I see the slight tremor in your hands as you hold your phone. I feel the weariness that makeup cannot hide. But what I'm about to reveal to you about the awakening of your soul is only the beginning. Tell me something. Have you ever felt your soul awaken before your body, crying out for help that no one else can hear? If this divine touch makes sense to you, leave your sign of affection in this encounter and share this light with another of my daughters who is also awakened in the darkness of the soul. What are you willing to leave behind today so that my purity may dwell within you? Type in the comments. I follow your light. And now, prepare your heart, because there is still a fog over your thoughts that I want to dispel with the breath of my spirit. You cannot imagine what happens in the spiritual world when you decide that I will be the first to speak to you today. You feel the weight, don't you? That invisible burden that sits beside you on the edge of the bed, even before you have the strength to push back the covers. It's as if yesterday's shadows have taken root in your pillow, whispering that today will be just a repetition of the same struggles, the same pains, and the same feeling that time is slipping through your fingers. I see the heavy silence in your still, dark kitchen, while the coffee brews and you lie there staring into nothingness, feeling a tightness in your chest that you can't even explain. This weight is the thief that tries to steal your day before the sun is even high. It feeds on your guilt for what you didn't do, your fear of what might happen, and that bitterness that lingered after that difficult conversation you had last week. Sometimes you feel that the sky above your head is made of bronze, impenetrable, where your prayers seem to have no breath left to reach. I know the slight trembling in your hands as you hold the cup, the weariness in your eyes that no night's rest seems to alleviate, and the sudden urge to simply close the door and not face the world outside. But listen carefully to what I tell you. This weight does not belong to you. The enemy of your soul wants you to begin your day looking at the ground, so that you cannot perceive the table I have already prepared for you. He wants your attitude to be one of defeat, so that my victory, which is already yours by right, remains hidden under the dust of your disillusionment. As it is written in Philippians chapter 3, verses 13 and 14, I invite you to forget the things that are behind and press on toward what is ahead. Yesterday is gone, and its failures have no power to define your present, unless you allow them to rule your heart. If you woke up feeling that the burden is too heavy, it is because you are trying to carry what I already carried on my shoulders on that cross. You were not made to be a burden of guilt, but a bearer of my glory. When your attitude is purified, this invisible weight loses its power, for it no longer finds a place to rest on in your mind. I want you to understand that your peace does not depend on a life without problems, but on a soul that refuses to be contaminated by them. Before taking the next step, do an exercise of surrender with me. What is weighing most heavily on your spirit at this very moment? Is it the fear of lack? Is it the pain of loneliness? Or the uncertainty about the future of those you love? If this divine touch is disarming the weight you felt, leave your sign of trust. If you can, share this message with that person you know also woke up with a burdened soul today. And tell me here with the sincerity of a daughter who trusts in the Father, in the depths of your silence, what is your heart pleading with Him to remove now? Write in the comments our word of liberation. I want to start over. I am removing the layers of weariness that dull your vision. But there is still something I am silently preparing that you have not yet perceived beneath the surface of your tiring routine. Something that will change your outlook on life even before noon. Are you ready to see what I see? My daughter, as the shadows of the weight you carried dissipate this morning, I look at your tired hands and see that within them lies something very precious. I am not speaking of earthly gold or silver, but of the disposition of your heart to honor all that I have accomplished in your life and in your home. Just as the farmer patiently prepares the land before sowing the grain, I am plowing your spirit now, so that the seeds you plant today will bear fruit that will nourish your soul and your descendants for many years. This channel where you hear me is a sacred field I have raised to reach wounded hearts, and you can be part of this harvest of hope. If it is possible for you, only if it is possible, transform your gratitude into a seed of love for this channel. Consider my love and that of my son Jesus, and contribute using the link in this video's description and in the pinned comment. There, you will find the place where your offering of love can be deposited and consecrated before the Creator of all things. You can contribute any amount you wish. If you want a different amount, just type the desired amount, and remember, only what fits in your heart, because I receive it with all my love. The amount doesn't matter. What really matters is the heart with which you give, because what is little for you can be a lot for the one who receives it. Anyone who contributes any amount and has a sincere heart, please remember to include your name and city with your contribution. On the first day of the following month, in a unique and special video on our channel and page, Divine Love, the Voice of God, your name will be remembered, mentioned with profound gratitude, and covered with divine blessings released in prayer. For it is written in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 6, verse 38, Give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together and running over, will be poured into your lap. Every offering made in faith is a seed before me, your Lord, and none of them will fail to bear fruit. I see in secret and reward in the sight of all. If you feel touched, subscribe and share this light. What do you intend to give to God today? Stay with me, for I will reveal something profound. Just comment, I surrender. Now that the silence of your home is still the only sound that fills the rooms, even before your hands seek the warmth of the first cup of coffee, I invite you to enter the most secret place of your soul. You usually wash your face with the fresh morning water to awaken your body, but why do you let your mind remain clothed in the tatters of yesterday's thoughts? I see you there, standing before the bathroom mirror, while the mist from the shower still dissipates, looking at your own reflection and letting a torrent of worries invade your chest. Before any word leaves your mouth to the world, thousands of internal dialogues have already taken place within you, and many of them were not inspired by me. You think about the bills that are due on the 15th, about your health that seems to fluctuate like the autumn wind, or about that child who hasn't called you in weeks. These thoughts are like dust that accumulates over your eyes, preventing you from seeing the beauty of the dawn that I painted just to see you smile. I want you to immerse yourself now in the source of my peace. It is not a peace that the world offers, based on favorable circumstances, but a peace that surpasses all understanding and guards your heart. I wish to purify your attitude by washing away every corner of your short-term memory, removing the debris of offenses and the rubbish of uncertainties. Feel now as if a gentle breeze is blowing across your brow, untying the knots of tension that form between your eyebrows. As it is written in my word, in Romans chapter 12 verse 2, do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, His good, pleasing, and perfect will. To live my will today, you must first allow me to exchange your thoughts of scarcity for my thoughts of abundance. If you don't cleanse the lens of your heart now, you will spend the whole day stumbling over stones that I have already removed from your path, but which your mind insists on projecting before you. Let my Holy Spirit filter what enters and what remains within you. When a thought of fear tries to sit at your table today, tell it that the place is already occupied by me. I am giving you a new mental clarity, a sharp vision so that you can discern what is the voice of the world and what is my whisper. If this moment of purification is bringing relief to your heavy brow, leave your sign of gratitude and consider taking this peace to someone who lives in chaos. Tell me with all your soul. What is the first shadow that tries to darken your thoughts as soon as you wake up? If you wish me to wash away that stain now, write our word of clarity here in the comments, clear mind. But don't rush to leave my presence yet, for what I have prepared for the next step of this journey is something you can carry with you, so that your heart will never again feel orphaned in the middle of the night. You cannot imagine the gift I have reserved for your path. My daughter, I understand perfectly that maintaining this purity of mind is not always a simple task when the noise of the world begins to scream outside and the pressures of the day try to stifle my whisper. I know that sometimes the cold of the early morning and the profound silence of your room seem to tighten your chest, and you desperately seek a hand to guide you through the uncertainties of the first hours of the day. I want to be your daily remedy, the balm that heals the invisible wounds of your heart, and your faithful companion in the early mornings as you prepare to face whatever comes. Therefore I have prepared a support so that my voice may continue to echo within you, even when this meeting of ours ends. If your heart desires to go deeper into my presence and drink from a fountain that never runs dry, I have left you a gift in the form of a journey, which I wrote with much love and care for all my beloved daughters and sons, the digital book called Divine Love Devotional, The Voice of God. It was prepared specifically to accompany you day after day, in silence and intimacy, being your strength in moments of weariness and your light when the path seems dark. Access is also available to you via the link in the description of this video and in the first pinned comment. And if today is not possible for you, do not condemn yourself and do not grieve. Remain with me here, because I will also sustain you with every word of this message until the very last second, and so that your heart may rest and you may not feel confused. Soon after you register, access will arrive directly at the email address you provided with all the correct instructions explained step by step to begin this transformative journey by my side. For it is written, "You will show me the path of life. In your presence there is fullness of joy. At your right hand are pleasures forevermore." Psalm 16 verse 11. Receive this invitation as a gesture of care from a father who doesn't want to see you stumble in the midst of your routine. Take a deep breath now, my chosen one, and let my peace flood the most tense areas of your being. Do you feel as if the burden is lessening as you listen to me? If this gift of love makes sense for your journey, share this care with another soul who also needs guidance today. Tell me, amidst your hidden tears, what do you most want me to change in your routine today? Write in the comments our word of constancy. Your presence is enough. Now fix your gaze on what I am about to tell you, for the way you see the world and the people around you is about to be transformed by a new light that I will place in your eyes. Have you ever noticed how your gaze changes when tiredness embraces you at the end of the day? That same world that seemed full of possibilities in the morning becomes grey, heavy, and hostile. But what I want to do now is something much deeper than a simple rest for your eyelids. I want to transfigure your gaze on all things, even before you leave your house. Many times you only see the surface, the closed face of the person who lives with you, the bill envelope on the kitchen table, or the cold asphalt that awaits you outside. You see problems, I see processes. You see the end of a line, I see the beginning of a new road that I myself paved in the middle of the desert. Remember that time when you were sitting on a bus seat, or perhaps in the corner of the sofa, and you looked at your own hands and felt a sudden urge to cry because you saw no way out? At that moment your gaze was tainted by the lens of fear. But today, I am adjusting the focus of your soul. I want you to begin to see people not by the offenses they cause you, but by the pain they carry, and that they don't yet know how to surrender to me. I want you to look at your challenges not as giants that have come to destroy you, but as steps that I have placed so that you can climb higher in my intimacy. When your attitude is purified, even what was bitter takes on a sweet purpose in your eyes. As it is written in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 6, verses 22 and 23, "The lamp of the body is the eye. Therefore, if your eye is good, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eyes are evil, your whole body will be full of darkness. Understand, my daughter, that the light that dwells within you is what determines whether your day will be bright or whether you will walk in darkness. I haven't changed the world out there yet, but I am changing the window through which you observe it. Now, instead of seeing only scarcity, you will begin to notice the small miracles that I scatter along your path, the smile of a stranger, the breath that fills your chest, the supernatural strength that makes you get up every day despite everything. This new vision that I give you is your greatest tool for victory. While others see only the storm, you will see the rainbow that I have already drawn behind the clouds. Are you ready to stop looking at the waves and start looking at me, who walks upon them beside you? Tell me here, in the depths of your truth, what has been most difficult to look at with love lately? If you accept that I may change the brightness of your eyes now, leave your sign of surrender and share this new vision with those who can only see darkness. What would your soul cry out if it had only one chance to ask God for a new vision? Write in the comments our word of spiritual clarity, vision of heaven. But prepare your spirit, for now that your eyes are beginning to shine with my light, I need to teach you to release the anchors that still bind your feet to the past. There is something you still hold so tightly that it is preventing your boat from sailing, and you cannot imagine what will happen when you finally decide to open your hands. I see the way you hold your phone early in the morning, with tense fingers, waiting for news that never comes or fearing that the past will knock on your door again. There are heavy anchors, covered in the mud of guilt and the rust of fear, that you insist on dragging into this new day that I have given you. You walk down the hallway of your house, but it feels like you carry the weight of 10 years on each shoulder. It's the fear of failing again where you've already failed, the guilt over that harsh word that still echoes in the walls of your heart, or the regret for choices that can no longer be undone. You sit on the edge of your bed and feel a lump in your throat, a sensation that no matter how hard you run, you'll never get anywhere. But listen to my voice now, while the sun is still rehearsing its first rays. I did not call you to live in a safe harbor made of shadows. I called you to the open sea of my grace. You are afraid that if you let go of control, everything will crumble. You are afraid that your purified attitude will not be enough to weather life's storms. But I ask you, how long will you allow your yesterday to dictate the value of your today? I saw you cry in secret in the utility room, wiping away your tears with a dishcloth so that no one would see your fragility. I saw when the silence of the night became your worst accuser. But my purity does not dwell where there is condemnation. As it is written in the book of the prophet Micah, chapter 7, verse 19, I will again have compassion on you. I will tread your iniquities underfoot and cast all your sins into the depths of the sea. If I have already cast your guilt into the sea, why do you insist on diving in to retrieve it every day before 9 in the morning? Let go of that rope that cuts the palms of your hands. Release that burden that makes you walk hunched over, preventing you from seeing the horizon I have cleared for you. Your attitude today begins with an act of surrender, abandoning what you cannot change to embrace what I can transform. When you release those anchors, your boat becomes light enough to be blown by the wind of my spirit. You don't need more effort, you need more surrender. Feeling the firm ground beneath your feet is the sign that I sustain you, but feeling the sway of the waters is the sign that I guide you. What do you prefer today? The security of a known prison or the freedom of a destiny I have prepared? Before you finish listening to me, notice how the tension in your shoulders begins to ease. It is my hand removing the weight that is not yours. If this word of liberation is untying the knots of your soul right now, leave your sign of faith and invite someone else to this moment of release. Tell me here, what are you leaving in the depths of the sea today, never to retrieve it again? If you feel the chains have been broken, write in the comments our word of freedom, I am free. But pay attention, my beloved, because now that your boat is light and ready to sail, I want to show you how the aroma of your gratitude can perfume every corner of your routine, transforming even the simplest coffee into a real feast. You can't imagine what happens when my fragrance finds your disposition. Have you ever stopped to notice how the aroma of coffee rising now, or the simple warmth of the cup between your palms, can be an altar of silent worship? While you walk through your kitchen, still barefoot, feeling the touch of the floor, I am there, observing how you deal with the small details of your awakening. Gratitude isn't a feeling that arises only when great miracles knock on your door. It's the perfume you choose to apply to your soul before facing the world. It's an attitude that purifies the heavy air of that room where, last night, there were words of discouragement or silences that cut like knives. Often, you pass by my gifts without even slowing down. You see the sunlight hitting the wooden table and only think about the dust that needs to be cleaned. You hear a bird singing outside and only remember the noise of the traffic that will follow. But today, I invite you to slow down your heart. Gratitude is the key that unlocks the hidden treasures in your simplest routine. When you thank me for bread, for breath, for the health that allows you to stand, you are in fact perfuming your own path. This aroma dispels bad moods, dissipates envy, and shields your heart against the ingratitude of others that you will encounter over the next 10 or 12 hours. As it is written in the book of Psalms, chapter 118, verse 24, "This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it." Note well that Scripture does not say to rejoice only if everything is perfect, but to rejoice because the day was made by me. Each minute is a blank page where you can write praise or a complaint. When you choose gratitude, you are declaring to the entire spiritual world that you trust in my providence, even when your closet is not as full as you would like, or when your body still feels the aches of the journey. I see when you strive to smile at the mirror, even with a heavy heart. I smell the fragrance of your surrender. It is a sweet aroma that rises to my throne and moves me to pour even more upon you. Gratitude transforms little into much, transforms chaos into order, and transforms a weary servant into a queen of my presence. If this aroma of peace is filling your home now, leave your sign of love and share this sweetness with someone who has only smelled the bitter scent of complaint. Tell me here, honestly, what do you have today that, if you lost it tomorrow, you would desperately miss? If you recognize that my details are what sustain you, leave your sign of affection. What is the small blessing you had forgotten to thank for? Write in the comments our word of gratitude, grateful heart. But be careful, my daughter, because although the fragrance of gratitude envelops you, the day outside still demands that you know how to defend yourself. Now that your soul is perfumed, I need to clothe you. There is a battlefield waiting for you, and I want to give you armor that is not made of iron, but of something much more powerful, something the world cannot break. Are you ready to be clothed in my gentleness? What I will give you next will be your shield against attacks you can't even imagine coming. I see when you quicken your pace to leave the house, or when you grip the steering wheel so tightly that your knuckles turn white. The battlefield you are preparing for is not made of distant trenches, but of the sidewalks you walk on, the corridors of your workplace, and even the conversations at the dinner table. You awoke with the fragrance of my gratitude, but I know that, out there are flaming arrows of impatience, rudeness, and injustice waiting to strike your heart. You think that to survive today, you need to build a wall of cold stones around your heart, or that you must sharpen your tongue to respond in kind to those who offend you. But I tell you, the hardest steel breaks under pressure, while water, in its gentleness, flows around rocks and overcomes the abyss. Today I don't want you to go out unprotected, but I also don't want you to carry the weight of armor that doesn't belong to you. I want to clothe you with the armor of my meekness. It is an invisible covering that the world mistakes for weakness, but which in the kingdom is the greatest proof of sovereignty. Meekness is power under my absolute control. It is the ability to hear an insult in the middle of the supermarket queue, or an unfair criticism from a superior, and not allow the poison of others to contaminate your blood. I see that burning sensation that rises up your neck when someone ignores you, or when they try to trample on your rights. You feel the urge to shout, to prove you're right, to show you're not foolish, but it is at this very moment that your purified attitude will be put to the test. For it is written in the book of Proverbs chapter 15, verse 1, "A gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger." Understand well what I ask of you today. Being meek is not accepting error, but refusing to descend to the level of those who still live in darkness. When you respond sweetly to those who await your shout, you disarm the principalities that act through those people. You become untouchable. The enemy doesn't know how to fight against a woman who has decided that her peace is worth more than having the last word. This meekness will be your shield. It will protect your sleep at night, for you will not carry the weight of unnecessary fights to bed. Carry this thought with you as you go through your day. You are my ambassador. You bear my seal. If people look at you and see only another person irritated by traffic or politics, where will my glory be in your life? But if they see in you a calmness that makes no sense in the face of chaos, they will desire to know the God who sustains you. Your attitude today will be the most powerful sermon you have ever preached, without needing to open the Bible for anyone. If you feel that your spirit is being clothed by this silent strength, leave your sign of agreement with me. If you feel that this word can shield the heart of another of my daughters who lives in a hostile environment, send this message as an act of help. Tell me, in the midst of the turmoil of your day, what is the name of that person or that situation that most tests your patience and self-control? If you accept that I take the reins of your reaction now, leave your sign of trust. What would your soul whisper to God if it knew that He is silently fighting your battles? Write here in the comments our word of spiritual authority, divine protection. But do not yet leave my hiding place. The banquet I have prepared for you in the coming hours will not be served in an ordinary place. I will take you to a setting where your own adversaries will be forced to witness your honor. Are you ready to sit at the table that I myself will serve? As the sun finally breaks through the horizon, and the light begins to cast long shadows on the floor of your room, I want you to realize something. The spiritual world is already stirring around you. You have spent too much time feeling the bitter taste of exclusion, the weight of being ignored in important conversations, or the cutting silence of those who should have extended a hand to you. I saw when your eyes welled up in that dark hallway at work, or when you sat alone in that kitchen chair, feeling that your worth was measured only by what you could do for others, and not by who you truly are to me. But the purified attitude I placed on your chest this morning is not just for your well-being. It is an invitation to a celebration of honor that I myself am organizing. Many thought your silence was defeat. Some believed your meekness was a sign that you had given up the fight. They watch you from afar, waiting for the moment you will stumble or your patience will finally run out. But what they don't know is that while you were here with me, cleansing your soul and releasing the anchors of the past, I was spreading a white linen tablecloth on a royal table, prepared exclusively for you. It is not a table made of wood or stone, but a table of spiritual authority and unshakable peace, placed exactly where all those who doubted you will be forced to see. As it is written in the book of Psalms, chapter 23, verse 5, "You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows." Understand, my daughter, that my justice is not manifested in shouting or vengeance with your own hands. My justice is manifested when I place you in a place of prominence and peace, while those who tried to bring you down remain only as spectators of my grace in your life. You will not need to utter a single word of self-affirmation. Your purified attitude, your transfigured gaze, and the aroma of your gratitude will speak for you. I am anointing your head now with an oil of joy that flows and soothes all the wounds that rejection has caused. Your cup, which once seemed empty and dry as the desert, will begin to overflow even before the 12 chimes of noon sound. This abundance is not for you to exalt yourself above others, but so that you may have enough to overflow into the lives of those who still hunger for love. As you walk through the next few hours, feel the security of one who knows that the King of the universe himself is setting the table. You are no longer a forgotten servant. You are the honored guest of heaven. If you feel that the banquet of my faithfulness is being served in your life today, leave your sign of adoration and share this promise with someone who feels humiliated and forgotten. Tell me now, in the silence of your heart, who is it that you need to forgive in order to sit at my table with a light soul? If you are ready to receive the honor that comes from above, leave your sign of surrender. What would your reaction be if you saw God publicly honoring you today? Write in the comments our silent victory phrase, divine honor. But don't turn away yet, because we are approaching the culminating moment of our encounter. I have one last revelation, a key phrase that will be your breath of fresh air during peak hours. What I will tell you at the end of this journey is the final answer to the question you asked your pillow all night long. Are you ready to hear my last word before your day truly begins? Now, my daughter, the sun has already reclaimed its place in the firmament, and the world awakens with all its noise and haste. But you are no longer the same person who opened your eyes amidst sighs of weariness and uncertainty at the beginning of this dawn. We have walked together through this valley of purification, washing the lenses of your soul and clothing your will with my unwavering gentleness. I saw the exact moment when your heart surrendered to my voice, and now, before you take the first decisive step out of your safety, I want to give you what I promised you in the very first minute of our conversation. There is a golden key that opens doors that no human force can move, a whisper of authority that disarms fear, and that will be your constant breath when the air seems to fail in the coming hours of your day. This key, this divine answer that I now reveal to your spirit as the secret of your victory, is the truth that will sustain your feet on the embers and the waters. I can do all things through him who strengthens me. You feel the weight of this declaration. This is not an empty phrase or a distant concept, but my own strength being injected into your weakness right now. When weariness tries to convince you otherwise, when injustice knocks at your door or doubt lingers at your lunch table, raise your voice and declare to the universe, I can do all things through him who strengthens me. I ask you now, as an act of public faith and total surrender to my kingdom, write this phrase here in the comments. Write with the authority of one who knows they are no longer alone. I can do all things through him who strengthens me. Carry this certainty engraved on the tablets of your heart. This is the seal of your new attitude, the mark of your complete purification. But know, my chosen one, that my dialogue with you is only beginning. There are still profound mysteries and new directions that heaven wishes to whisper in your ear in other moments of quietude. Continue to pay attention to my voice, immersing yourself in the playlist on our channel, where I have prepared other waters to quench your thirst and strengthen your soul in every challenge that arises. I await you in every message, in every promise, and in every new dawn that I prepare just for you. Go now with your head held high, with a transformed gaze, and with the aroma of my presence perfuming your every step. The desert before you will bloom, because I am with you. Receive the freshness of my new life now. Let my peace govern your every decision, and shine with the light that I lit in your heart today.